Did you know there's a single penny, yes, a simple 1-cent coin, that could be worth up to $1.3 million? Right now, sitting in a drawer, an old coin jar, or hidden deep in your attic, you could be holding onto a fortune without even knowing it. And it all comes down to one tiny detail: a missing mint mark. Now, before you go rummaging through your change, let me explain why this coin is so rare, and how you could be one of the few lucky people to cash in. Imagine turning a penny into millions. It's not just a fantasy, it's happening today. Think about it. Wouldn't you rather find $1 million in your pocket than an old receipt? But here's the catch: the window of opportunity is closing fast. People are waking up to the value of these coins, and those who act now will have the upper hand. So, if you're curious about how to identify this treasure in your own pocket, stay with me until the end, because I'm about to reveal everything you need to know. So, what makes this 1982 Lincoln penny so special? After all, millions were minted, right? Well, here's where the story takes a turn. In 1982, the US Mint was transitioning from a copper composition to zinc. For reasons still debated by collectors, some pennies were struck without the usual mint mark. This is the key detail: the missing mint mark, that could make a world of difference between pocket change and a windfall. Now, here's the part that gets really interesting. The 1982 penny without the mint mark isn't like your average coin. It's so rare that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for it. But why, you ask? Because it represents a mistake, a freak occurrence in the world of minting that shouldn't have happened. And when something this unique hits the market, its value skyrockets. But let me ask you this: when was the last time you looked closely at your coins? How many pennies have passed through your hands? And how many did you overlook? Yeah, we're all guilty of tossing coins into a jar without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one of those forgotten pennies could pay off your mortgage, buy your dream car, or even secure your financial future? It's not a question of if you have one, it's whether you'll find it before someone else does. Imagine the heartbreak of discovering you had a $1.3 million coin and didn't realize until it was too late. Let that sink in for a second. This is your chance to turn a small discovery into a life-changing moment. And the good news is, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for. But first, now, here's how you identify if your penny is the jackpot. First, check the date. It must be 1982. Next, and this is critical, there can be no mint mark under the date. Most pennies from that year were minted in Philadelphia, but the ones with no mark at all, that's where the gold is. If your penny matches this description, you might be sitting on a treasure worth up to $1.3 million. That's right, one penny, one life-altering discovery. So, what are you waiting for? Unless you're hoping to fund your retirement on scratch-off tickets. This could be the moment you've been waiting for. But here's the thing. Time is ticking. As more people discover the value of these rare coins, the chances of finding one decrease. Every day that passes, someone else could find it first. That's why it's so important to check your collection now. But here's one last surprise for you. If you think the 1982 penny is rare, wait until you hear about the next coin on the list, which might just be hiding in your collection too. So, before you walk away from this opportunity, take a moment. Search through your old pennies. Dig through your change jars. The key to your financial future could be sitting right under your nose, unnoticed. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the power to sell a penny for a fortune. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that's worth more than $1 million. Yes, that's right, a penny. The very same one that could be hiding in an old jar of coins, tucked away in a drawer, or passed down through generations. But here's the thing, it's not just any penny. We're talking about the elusive 1972 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin. It's out there, waiting to be found, and it could change your life forever. Think it's too good to be true? Keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is valued at over $1.5 million, and more importantly, why you could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. But time is running out. These coins aren't just rare, they're getting rarer by the day, and you don't want to be the one who missed out. So let's dive in. You could be moments away from uncovering your golden ticket. Let's start with a question that might sound ridiculous at first. How can a single penny be worth over $1 million? It's easy to overlook old coins, isn't it? After all, we don't exactly get excited every time we pull out a handful of change. But here's the secret. Within those seemingly insignificant pennies lies the potential for life-changing wealth. The 1972 Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, holds a key distinction. It's a product of a printing error. A double die obverse, meaning the date and lettering on the front of the coin were stamped twice. But here's the kicker. This error wasn't caught immediately, and only a small batch made it into circulation. That's right, fewer coins, more value. Supply and demand? And when you add in the fact that many have been lost or damaged over time, the number of pristine coins is dwindling fast. Now, before you go rummaging through your couch cushions, don't start thinking every penny you find is going to turn you into the next millionaire. If that were the case, we'd all be buying mansions with spare change, wouldn't we? But let's get serious. What makes this coin so valuable right now? Well, in the world of rare coin collectors, scarcity drives prices through the roof. And the 1972 no-mint mark penny? It's like the holy grail of pennies. Imagine an auction room buzzing with excitement as collectors battle it out, offering mind-boggling amounts of money for one little coin. The most pristine examples have sold for over $1 million, and here's the thing, values are climbing as we speak. You may have a coin sitting in your possession that's appreciating faster than gold or stocks. But wait, there's something you need to know before you rush off to sell that penny. You see, there's a mistake many make when trying to sell their valuable coins, and it could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even more. I'll tell you exactly what that mistake is, but first, let's talk about why this coin's value is soaring. We're living in a golden era for rare coins. Collectors are more active than ever, and the market is booming. Why? It's a combination of factors. The digital age has made it easier to connect buyers with sellers. That means if you have one of these rare pennies, you're not limited to local buyers. You're connected to a global marketplace of collectors with deep pockets. People are paying top dollar for the chance to own a piece of history, and competition is fierce. Now, if that's not exciting enough, here's something that'll get your heart racing. There's only a finite number of these pennies left in circulation, and every day that passes, they become even more valuable. Imagine the rush of excitement when you realize you could be holding $1 million coin in your hand. It's almost too good to be true. But it's not a fairy tale, it's happening right now. This is where the fear comes in. What if you don't act fast enough? What if someone else snatches up the opportunity you didn't even know you had? Don't let that be you. Your chance to cash in might be slipping away with every second you wait. Quick question. Have you checked your penny jar lately? Seriously, when was the last time you even thought about it? Yeah, it's time to give that some attention. Alright, now that you understand why this coin is so valuable and why now is the time to act, let's talk about how to sell it. And more importantly, how to avoid the biggest mistake that could cost you a fortune. Here's the common pitfall. People get excited when they find a rare coin, but they rush to sell it to the first buyer who offers them some quick cash. Big mistake. You see, selling a rare coin is like selling a priceless work of art. You don't want to let it go to just anyone. The right buyer is willing to pay far more, but you need to know where to find them. This is where patience and strategy come into play. Auction houses specializing in rare coins, online marketplaces, and top-tier collectors, they're all out there, waiting. But you need to play the long game. Do your research, and don't let the excitement of a quick sale make you settle for less than your coin is worth. Imagine this, you sell your penny for a few $1,000s, thinking you've hit the jackpot. But months later, you see that same coin sell for over $1 million. The heartbreak, the regret, it's real. Don't let that happen to you. Your fortune could be one smart decision away. Now, here's what you've been waiting for. How do you know if your 1972 penny is the real deal? In the next video, I'm going to reveal exactly what to look for to identify this rare coin and how to get it professionally appraised. You won't want to miss it, because the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth over $1 million is often in the tiniest details. So, if you're ready to take action, start by subscribing to the channel, because we're just scratching the surface of the rare coin market. Don't leave your future up to chance. The next coin you find could be your key to financial freedom and a life of luxury. Stay tuned, and remember, your $1,000,000 penny might be closer than you think. One day, you're sorting through a jar of old coins, something you probably haven't touched in years. Maybe it's something your grandfather collected, or coins you've saved from your childhood. Suddenly, something catches your eye. A penny. But not just any penny, it's a 1964 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. You might think to yourself, how much could this really be worth? Well, what if I told you, this humble 1-cent coin could be worth up to $1.6 million? Yes, you heard that right. You could be holding a $1,000,000 penny, a fortune hiding in plain sight. This is not a fantasy, it's reality. So, why haven't more people cashed in on this treasure? Stick around because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the mystery behind this coin, why it's worth so much, and what it means for you. The story of the 1964 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is deeply intertwined with American history. In 1964, the country was in a state of transition. JFK had been assassinated the year prior, the civil rights movement was in full swing, and people were looking for stability. During this time, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced millions of pennies. So, why is this particular one so special? It all comes down to a few rare errors and unique characteristics that most people overlook. You see, not all pennies are created equal. Some 1964 D pennies were struck in ways that make them extraordinarily rare. A tiny flaw, a small misprint, or a double die error, these little imperfections are what make collectors go wild. And it's precisely why a single penny could be worth more than a mansion. But here's the thing. Most people don't even realize they have one. Let's be honest. How many times have you walked past a penny on the sidewalk and just left it there? Probably more than you'd like to admit. Heck, I've done it. But after learning about the 1964 D penny, I'm second-guessing every coin I've ever seen. Now, let's talk numbers, because I know that's what you're here for. What could you realistically get if you found one of these rare 1964 D pennies? Well, the answer is, it depends. Most of these pennies, in regular circulation, might be worth just a few bucks. But the rare ones, the ones that collectors dream of, those could fetch hundreds of thousands, and in some cases, like a particular era coin that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Now, let's break that down for a second. 1.6 million. For a penny. Imagine that feeling, walking into a collector's auction with this small coin in hand, and walking out a millionaire. The freedom, the lifestyle shift, the security for your family, all from something you may have thought was worthless. But here's the catch, you need to know what to look for. Not every 1964 D penny is valuable, so it's crucial you learn the telltale signs. In just a moment, I'm going to reveal exactly what makes a 1964 D penny worth millions, and how you can tell if the penny in your hand is one of these rare treasures. But first, do you know the last time you even checked your change jar? I mean, really checked it? What if that jar sitting in your closet right now is hiding a coin that could change your life forever? So, what should you be looking for? First, you want to examine the mint mark. The D stands for Denver, where this penny was minted. But that's not enough on its own. Look for specific error types like the double die. This means the design was struck twice, creating a blurry or doubled image. It's subtle, but this mistake could be worth a fortune. Next, you'll want to check the condition of the coin. Coins that have been well preserved, ones that haven't been circulated heavily, can skyrocket in value. Even the tiniest scratch or bit of wear can affect the price. That's why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that look like they just rolled off the mint's presses. Another factor is weight. Some 1964 D pennies were accidentally made with the wrong metal composition. These anomalies are extremely rare, but if you find one, the value can shoot through the roof. And here's the thing, these pennies are out there. Sitting in dresser drawers, tucked away in old coffee cans, forgotten in jewelry boxes. You could have one sitting right under your nose. But time is ticking. As more people discover this, the competition to sell them will only get fiercer. Don't wait until it's too late. Think about it. All those times you've cursed the universe when all you found was a penny. Well, this could be your sweet revenge. Who's laughing now, right? So, here's what you need to do next. Grab your old coin collection, that dusty jar of change, or that penny you picked up last week without thinking. Take a closer look. Research it, or better yet, get it professionally appraised. The payoff could be life-changing. Remember, most people will never check. Most people will never know. But you're not most people. You're here, and now you know the potential sitting right in front of you. So, what will you do next? Will you let this opportunity pass by, or will you take action right now and potentially change your life forever? And if you're still watching, congratulations, you're already ahead of the game. Have you ever held a penny in your hand and wondered, could this be worth more than just 1 cent? Could this tiny, forgotten coin be your key to a life of financial freedom? You might have something incredible lying around in your change jar or old dresser, something most people overlook. Imagine a penny, yes, a penny, worth a staggering $1.6 million. Now, before you shake your head and think it's impossible, let me tell you about one specific coin that's been turning heads in the collector's world, the 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny, with no mint mark. But here's the real question. Could you be holding this exact penny right now? Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Really? Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Let's dive deeper into the story of this elusive 1967 penny. Picture this, it's 1967, a year of historic events, but quietly in the background, a small batch of pennies was minted with a critical flaw: no mint mark. And while it seemed like a small mistake, this tiny omission has transformed these pennies into some of the rarest and most sought-after coins in history. Now, most pennies from 1967 are, well, just pennies. But a few of them? They're the golden ticket. These no-mint mark pennies have fetched up to $1.6 million at auctions. Let that sink in for a moment. That's the kind of money that changes lives. Money that could pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, or maybe, just maybe, buy that dream vacation home you've always fantasized about. The best part? You don't have to be a coin expert to spot it. That penny in your pocket, hiding in a jar somewhere, could be worth more than your car. More than your house, even. But how do you know if you have it? In just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for. But first, ask yourself, what would you do with $1.6 million? And how would you feel if you let that slip through your fingers? So, here's what sets this penny apart. The first clue is obvious. There's no mint mark. Typically, pennies from Philadelphia don't have mint marks, but this 1967 version? It's unique because of its near-perfect condition and the error. Coin collectors go crazy over this kind of stuff. It's like discovering a rare painting hidden in your attic. Now, it's not just about the lack of the mint mark. It's about the condition, the luster, and a few other little secrets. You'll need to examine the coin for any scratches, signs of wear, or blemishes. The better its condition, the higher the value skyrockets. A penny that's been untouched for decades? That could fetch millions at auction. And auction houses? They're ready to pay top dollar. But here's the thing, these pennies are disappearing. The more collectors find them, the more the price rises, and soon, the chance to discover one of these rare coins could be gone forever. Right now, you're in the window of opportunity, but it's closing fast. By the way, if you're checking your pockets right now, don't feel bad. You wouldn't be the first person to drop everything and scramble to see if you're sitting on a fortune. But before you rush off to check, there's one more crucial piece of information you need to know. Here's the reality. Not everyone will have this 1967 no mint mark penny. But those who do, they're the ones who turn their small, forgotten change into a life-altering fortune. So here's what you should do next. Go through your old change, check every coin, and if you find a 1967 penny, examine it closely. If there's no mint mark, it's time to get excited. Seriously excited. This could be your once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Now, let me leave you with this thought. Every penny has potential, but only a few are destined for greatness. Will you be the one who cashes in? Hit the subscribe button if you're ready to learn more about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how you can turn something small into something life-changing. And of course, if you found that 1967 penny, you know what to do. Imagine holding a penny in your hand, a coin you've likely tossed aside countless times without a second thought. But what if I told you that there's one particular penny out there, hiding in plain sight, that could change your life forever? Yes, I'm talking about a 1991 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, with no mint mark. And it's worth an eye-popping $1.2 million. You heard that right, just one penny. So, how does this tiny coin end up being worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even your retirement fund? That's exactly what we're diving into today. If you're holding onto some old coins and hoping for a hidden treasure, stay tuned, because this could be your ticket to a completely different life. Pause for a moment. Think about it. What would you do if you woke up tomorrow, sold one of your coins for over $1 million? Travel the world? Pay off your mortgage? Maybe even retire early? It sounds unbelievable, but trust me, it's happening right now, and it's happening to people just like you. But here's the thing, not every 1991 penny is worth millions. So, how do you know if yours is the one? That's what we're about to uncover. Now, before you go rushing to your coin jar, there's a critical detail you need to understand. And without knowing this, your valuable penny could slip right through your fingers. Let's dive into why this specific coin is so extraordinary, what to look for, and, most importantly, what makes it worth a fortune. First, let's talk about the no mint mark. If you look closely at most pennies, you'll see a small letter under the year, either AD for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in 1991, a rare error occurred during the production process. Some pennies were minted without a mint mark altogether. Now, I know what you're thinking. A small missing letter? How could that make a coin worth millions? Well, here's the thing. Coins without mint marks are incredibly rare. And rare means valuable. Emotional hook. Think about the odds for a moment. Out of billions of pennies produced, only a tiny fraction escaped the minting process with this mistake. These coins are like finding a needle in a haystack, and that's what makes them so valuable to collectors. Imagine the excitement of discovering that you own one of those rare, prized coins. It's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. But here's where it gets tricky. While some pennies with errors are worth only a few $100s, this 1991 no mint mark penny recently sold for over $1 million at auction. What makes this coin worth so much more than others? Pattern interrupt. I'll give you a second to guess. Go ahead, think about it. Pause. Nope, it's not just a missing mint mark. There's something else. Something even more surprising, and that's exactly what I'm going to reveal next. But before I do, I want to ask you, have you ever wondered why some old coins sell for pocket change while others are treated like treasures? There's a hidden world of coin collectors who are willing to pay a fortune for the right coin. And once you understand what they're looking for, it's like holding a golden key to unlocking serious wealth. Stay with me because up next, we're going to dive into what makes this specific penny stand out and why collectors are willing to pay $1.2 million for it. Alright, here's where it all comes together. The 1991 no mint mark penny is valuable because of two key factors: rarity and condition. We've already talked about its rarity. It's a rare error coin, and only a handful exist. But collectors also pay attention to the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale, and for a penny to reach that $1 million price tag, it has to be in near-perfect condition. We're talking about a grade called MS-68, which is almost flawless, straight from the mint. There are only a few known examples of the 1991 no mint mark penny that have reached this high of a grade. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. Collectors are scrambling to get their hands on this specific penny, and with each sale, the value keeps climbing. Time is working against you if you're hoping to cash in. So, if you're sitting on a collection of old coins, it's time to check, recheck, and maybe even have an expert take a look. Because every moment you wait could be costing you millions. Imagine the feeling of discovering that the penny you've had sitting in a jar for years could give you financial freedom. No more bills piling up. No more stressing over money. This coin could be your key to the life you've always dreamed of. But hey, don't go dumping out your jar just yet. Take a deep breath, because I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my penny is the real deal? How do I grade it? What's the process? Good questions, and we're about to answer all of that. Because this could be the difference between throwing away a small fortune and cashing in for millions. Now, before I tell you exactly how to check if your penny is the one worth $1.2 million, I want you to remember one thing. There's more to this than just finding a no mint mark. And the mistake most people make is overlooking the tiny details that could make their coin worth a fortune. But don't worry, I've got you covered. In the next segment, I'll walk you through exactly how to evaluate your coins so that you don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Stay tuned, because this is where things get really exciting. You now know the story of the 1991 no mint mark penny. The missing mint mark, the rare condition, and the hidden world of collectors all play a part in why this penny is worth millions. The question is, could you be sitting on one of these treasures without even realizing it? If you have a 1991 penny, or any old coins, don't wait another moment. Get them checked. And who knows? You could be the next person holding $1 million penny. So, what's your next step? Be sure to subscribe, because in my next video, I'll be diving deeper into how you can sell these rare coins for maximum value. Don't miss out, your next penny might just change your life. You could be sitting on a treasure worth $1.4 million right now and not even know it. Imagine this, tucked away in a drawer, a jar, or maybe a box in your attic is a simple-looking penny that could change your life forever. Yes, we're talking about the 1964 mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a rare coin that's making headlines for fetching jaw-dropping sums at auctions. But here's the thing, you might be holding on to one right now, and unless you act, you could miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This isn't just about coins. It's about securing your future, unlocking wealth you didn't know you had, and turning a forgotten relic into the lifestyle of your dreams. Let's take a moment to think about where your old pennies are. Maybe you inherited them from a grandparent, or you've been collecting them since you were a kid. But what if one of those pennies was the key to a better future? The 1964 mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most coveted coins in the collector's world today. But here's the kicker, it wasn't always this valuable. In fact, most people didn't think twice about these coins when they first came out. They were pocket change. But in the world of rare coins, fortunes change quickly, and the stakes? They couldn't be higher. Why is this penny so rare, you ask? The minting process of 1964 had several quirks, including subtle variations in the mint mark, tiny details that could mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one that could fetch up to $1.4 million at auction. You might be thinking, wait, $1.4 million? For a penny? Yes. That's the power of rarity combined with demand. And I'm here to tell you exactly why that little coin in your drawer could hold more value than you ever imagined. It's crazy to think that something so small could be the key to a massive payday, right? But before you start tearing apart your couch cushions, there's more to this story. What makes a 1964 Lincoln penny worth a fortune? We'll get to that in just a minute. Now, here's where things get exciting. The value of this penny depends on more than just its age. Collectors pay top dollar for things like the condition of the coin, minting errors, and of course, that all-important mint mark. So, while your penny might look like an ordinary coin, you could be sitting on a rare variant that's unlike any other. Let's talk numbers. A pristine, mint-condition 1964 penny with certain unique characteristics has been known to sell for over $1 million. That's not just life-changing, that's legacy-building wealth. But here's the thing. This isn't something you can just eyeball. You need to know what to look for. Is the penny damaged? Has it been circulated heavily? Does it have any noticeable imperfections? This is where many people fall into the trap. They assume any old penny will do, but in reality, only a select few have the true potential to be $1 million coins. And here's the fear I want to plant in your mind. What if you unknowingly gave away or spent a rare penny that could have made you rich? What if someone else is holding your fortune in their hands right now? Ever wonder how many people have thrown away their chance at wealth by simply not knowing? It's happened before, and it could happen to you. But don't panic just yet, because there's still time to find out if you've got the real deal. And I'm about to show you how. Before we dive into the steps to identify this coin, let's talk about the future. What could you do with that kind of money? Imagine waking up tomorrow, knowing that you've turned a simple penny into $1.4 million. What would that mean for you? A new house? A luxury vacation? Setting up your children and grandchildren for life? This isn't just about selling an old coin. It's about unlocking the wealth that's been hidden in plain sight. It's about turning what most people see as worthless into a future of financial freedom. And that's the excitement here. But here's the urgency. Rare coins like these are becoming increasingly valuable as collectors and investors snatch them up. The market is hot right now, but that won't last forever. The longer you wait, the more likely it is that the value could either skyrocket further, or that opportunities to sell will dry up. Are you ready to find out if you've got one of these golden tickets? In just a moment, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for on your 1964 penny. But first, think about this. Could you really afford to let this chance slip through your fingers? Now is the moment of truth. It's time to take action. Grab your old coin collection, find that jar of pennies you've forgotten about, and check for the 1964 mint mark. Examine every detail, because the next step you take could be the difference between finding a treasure or missing out on a fortune. In the next video, I'll walk you through how to properly evaluate your coins, where to get them appraised, and the best places to sell them for top dollar. Don't wait. Subscribe now so you don't miss out on this crucial information. Your financial future could be just one penny away. A penny, just like the ones in your pocket or old coin jar, but worth a staggering $1.2 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This has happened with a humble 1984 mint mark Abraham Lincoln cent. Yes, a single penny from 1984 is making headlines, and collectors are scrambling to get their hands on these rare finds. But how do you know if you have one? And more importantly, what could it mean for your financial future? Stay tuned, because in the next 10 minutes, you might just discover that your simple penny is the key to unlocking a life of wealth and luxury. Now, before you rush off to check your piggy bank, let's take a deeper dive into why this coin is so valuable and why there's so much buzz around it right now. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to assess your coins, and why it's crucial to act fast. But hey, before you toss your couch cushions around, hold tight. We'll get there soon enough. Now, let's talk about what makes this 1984 Lincoln cent so special. First, it's not just about being an old penny. It's about a rare minting error that collectors are going wild over. Imagine a tiny mistake, so small most people wouldn't even notice it. Yet this simple flaw has turned an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. For this specific penny, we're talking about the famous double die error. This means parts of the penny, like Lincoln's face or the text, were struck twice, creating a subtle but noticeable doubling effect. If you're lucky enough to have a penny with this error, you're looking at a potentially life-changing sum. And here's where the excitement really kicks in. Recently, a 1984 penny in pristine condition sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth more than a house, a sports car, or even a retirement plan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why haven't I heard of this before? Well, that's because rare coin markets often fly under the radar for most people. But those who are in the know, those who take action, they're reaping the rewards. And there's a real sense of urgency here. As word spreads, more people are searching through their collections. The supply of these rare coins is dwindling, which means their value could skyrocket even more. If you're wondering how to explain this to your spouse when you suddenly become obsessed with pennies, just tell them you're investing in your future. Who knew spare change could be your path to financial freedom? So, what does this mean for you? Well, it means there's no time to waste. You could be sitting on one of these rare, highly sought-after coins and not even know it. Right now, the collector's market is hot, and the demand for these pennies is only going to increase. Imagine being the person who missed out, the one who looked back and realized they let $1 million opportunity slip through their fingers. That's not going to be you, right? Because I'm about to show you exactly how to tell if your 1984 D Lincoln cent is one of these golden tickets. Here's what you need to look for: subtle doubling on the coin's lettering, especially around Lincoln's face and the word Liberty. The mint mark, D, under the year is also crucial. It must be from the Denver Mint. Now, before you run off to check, let me remind you of one critical thing: condition is key. Even if you find a double-die penny, it needs to be in exceptional condition to fetch top dollar. I'll explain more about grading and how to ensure you get the maximum value from your coin in just a moment. But what happens if you do find one? What's your next move? Well, let's talk about that, because knowing how to sell it is just as important as finding it. And there's a mistake many people make that could cost you tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. Don't make that mistake. Stick with me, because next, I'll share how to avoid that costly error and make sure you get every single penny out of your, well, penny. You've made it this far, and now you're armed with the knowledge to potentially change your financial future. But here's the kicker: none of this matters if you don't take action. You've seen how a simple penny, maybe even one sitting in your coin jar right now, could be worth over $1 million. The opportunity is real, but it's only available to those who act on it. What's it going to be? Are you ready to dive into your collection and see if you've struck gold, or in this case, copper? Make sure to subscribe to this channel, because we'll be diving into more rare coins that could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone like you to discover them. And remember, wealth isn't just about money. It's about opportunity, and today, you have one sitting right in front of you. Don't let it pass you by. Imagine a penny so valuable it could change your life forever. A single coin, minted in 1961, and today worth a staggering $1.5 million. Sounds like fantasy, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It could be hiding in your collection right now, and if you're not paying attention, you might miss out on a life-altering fortune. Welcome to this exclusive breakdown of the 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, the coin that's been quietly making waves in the numismatic world. In the next 10 minutes, we'll uncover what makes this penny so valuable, how you can identify it, and why you need to act fast before others cash in on this hidden treasure. Now, before we dive into the specifics, let me ask you, when's the last time you really looked at your old coin collection? The jar of pennies you keep tucked away, the ones gathering dust in your attic or basement? What if, hidden among them, was the key to financial freedom? What if you're holding on to something worth not a few cents, but a life-changing $1.5 million? Think about that for a moment. But let me be clear, this isn't just about any penny. We're talking about a specific coin, the 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, at first glance, it may look like any other copper coin, but there's something special about this one. You see, not all pennies were created equal. There are factors, rare details, and tiny imperfections that make this coin one of the most sought-after pieces by collectors today. But here's the thing: most people have no idea what to look for. They toss these coins away, thinking they're worthless, never realizing they just threw away $1 million fortune. Can you imagine? It happens more often than you think. And that's why it's critical you stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn how to identify if you have one of these rare treasures. So, what exactly makes this penny worth $1.5 million? Let's start with its origin. Minted in Denver in 1961, this penny carries the signature D Mint mark. But here's where it gets interesting. The coin's value skyrockets when it's in exceptional condition, what's known as mint state. Now, finding a mint state penny from 1961, one that's been preserved in pristine condition, is like finding a needle in a haystack. And that's not all. There are even more factors that collectors are searching for. Rare errors, like mis-strikes or double dies, can push the value of this coin into the stratosphere. Imagine flipping through your old coin collection, spotting one of these rare traits, and realizing it's worth more than your car, your home, maybe even your retirement savings. Now, here's where the excitement truly builds. You're probably asking yourself, how do I know if I have the 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny? In a few moments, I'm going to share with you the key characteristics to look for, details that could mean the difference between pocket change and generational wealth. Alright, let's get into it. To determine if your 1961 D Lincoln penny is the jackpot, the first thing to check is its condition. Does it still have its original luster? Are there minimal signs of wear? Coins graded at mint state by professional numismatists are what buyers crave. And here's a bonus tip: look for a brilliant red hue in the copper. That's a sign your penny has been remarkably well preserved. And if it looks like it's been through a war zone, well, you might still get a few cents at the corner store. But what if you spot a misstrike, an error in the coin's design? Now we're talking serious money. Error coins, especially from older decades, are like golden tickets in the world of coin collecting. A subtle misalignment, a doubled image, these imperfections are what make the 1961 D penny so valuable. Collectors are on the hunt for these rare finds, willing to pay top dollar, because only a handful still exist. Now you're probably feeling a mix of excitement and curiosity, maybe even a bit of fear that you've overlooked something crucial. After all, time is of the essence. This coin's value is only increasing as more collectors join the search. And the best part? These coins are often found by everyday people just like you, people who had no idea they were sitting on a potential fortune. So, now that you know what to look for, what will you do next? Will you take a closer look at those pennies tucked away in a drawer, or will you risk letting the opportunity of a lifetime pass you by? Remember, the value of this 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is climbing with each passing day. And if you're holding on to one, it's not just a penny, it's a path to the life you've always dreamed of. And here's the kicker: some of the highest bids are being placed right now. Collectors are scouring every corner of the market, and the race to find these rare coins is only heating up. Are you ready to check your stash? Stay with me until the end, because I'm about to reveal one last, critical tip that could make all the difference in identifying your $1,000,000 penny. You won't want to miss it. And if you're serious about selling your rare coins and joining the ranks of those who've unlocked untold wealth, make sure to subscribe and watch our next video where we'll show you exactly how to get top dollar for your rare finds. You're going through an old jar of pennies when suddenly, one coin catches your eye. It's the same penny you've seen countless times, yet what if I told you that this very coin, this tiny, forgotten piece of copper, could be worth more than your house? 1 single cent, minted in 1977, no mint mark, is now valued at $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. But here's the real question: could you be holding one right now? Setting the scene, the journey of a penny. When you think of a penny, it's easy to brush it off as just pocket change. But did you know that some of the rarest pennies in existence are worth more than luxury cars, mansions, even a college education? And today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and lucrative coins of them all, the 1977 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, most people don't realize this, but not every penny is created equal. In 1977, a batch of these Lincoln pennies was minted without the usual mint mark. And what may seem like a small mistake to the untrained eye is exactly what makes it so valuable today. But what does it mean if your penny doesn't have a mint mark? And more importantly, why are collectors willing to pay millions for it? Stick with me, because in just a few moments, I'll reveal exactly why this particular penny is in such high demand and how you can check if you have one in your possession. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Quick question: how many pennies do you think you've carelessly dropped under your couch? You might want to check there after watching this video. Who knows, your next penny might just buy you a yacht. The discovery: why it's worth millions. Let's talk about the real reason why this penny, out of the billions in circulation, has skyrocketed in value to over $1.3 million. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and, most importantly, demand. You see, most pennies from that era have a tiny letter indicating where they were minted. This is usually a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the 1977 no mint mark penny was produced without this identifier. And here's where it gets interesting. Only a small number of these no-mint mark pennies exist, making them an incredibly rare find. Collectors, especially high-end investors, are on the hunt for the rarest, most unique coins in existence. And because so few of these pennies were produced without the mint mark, their value has shot through the roof. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. If your 1977 penny happens to be in pristine condition, what coin experts call mint state, it could be worth hundreds of thousands, even up to $1.3 million. Imagine for a moment what you could do with that kind of money. Pay off your debts, buy a dream home, maybe even retire early. It's not just life-changing, it's generational wealth. But before you get too excited and rush to check your jar of pennies, there's one more crucial factor that could make, or break, the value of your coin. We'll get to that in just a minute. Sealing the deal. How to know if your penny is the one, alright? So how do you know if your penny is the $1 million one? Here's what you need to do. First, look at the front side of the coin, specifically below the date. If there's no letter or mint mark, congratulations, you might have a rare penny. But don't celebrate just yet. The next thing you need to check is the condition. Is your penny scratched, faded, or worn? Unfortunately, if it looks like it's been through a few too many hands, its value will likely decrease. But if it's crisp, shiny, and free of blemishes, you might just be holding a life-changing coin in your hands. And this is where urgency comes into play. The coin market is constantly evolving. Today, your 1977 penny might be worth $1.3 million, but tomorrow, who knows? Opportunities like this don't last forever. It's like striking gold, only if you act fast. In fact, some of the biggest sales in coin history have happened because the owner moved quickly. You don't want to be the person who hesitates and misses out on a fortune. By the way, ever wonder how many pennies it would take to fill up an Olympic-sized swimming pool? You'll definitely need a calculator for that one. But back to business. Now, before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to be aware of. It's something most people overlook, and it could either skyrocket your coin's value or leave you with just 1 cent in your pocket. Curious? Let's talk about it. The urgent opportunity. The last key to unlocking the true value of your 1977 no-mint mark penny is authentication. You need an expert, a professional coin grader, who can verify its rarity and condition. Without this, even the most valuable coin is just another piece of copper. But here's the thing, the window of opportunity is closing. As more people become aware of these rare coins, the market will shift. And once these pennies have all been bought by collectors, they'll become even rarer, even more valuable, but impossible for the average person to get their hands on. So here's my challenge to you. Take action. Go through your old coins, check every 1977 penny, and if you find one with no mint mark, don't wait. Have it evaluated, get it graded, and who knows? Your next step might just be cashing in on a $1.3 million jackpot. But before you rush off to dig through your change, there's one more secret about the 1977 no mint mark penny that almost no one talks about. And it could mean the difference between cashing in big or walking away empty-handed. Stay tuned because I'll be revealing that in our next video. If you're ready to uncover more hidden treasures in your coin collection and learn how to maximize their value, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the next rare coin that could make you a millionaire. Did you know a simple penny sitting in your pocket could be worth $1.4 million? You heard that right. Today, we're talking about a penny, not a rare gold coin, not some fancy piece of treasure from a shipwreck. Just a penny. More specifically, the 1979 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. And it could be hiding in your home right now. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? A penny? I probably have dozens of these lying around in a drawer. And you could be right. But here's the thing, some pennies are far more than just pocket change. They're hidden treasures. And the one we're about to discuss has the potential to change your life. But here's the catch, time is running out. More and more collectors are on the hunt for this rare penny, and its value is climbing. Imagine letting $1.4 million slip right through your fingers. Now let's dive into what makes this coin so valuable, where you might find it, and why you need to act now before someone else cashes in on this massive opportunity. So, why is the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny valued at a staggering $1.40 million? Here's the deal. In 1979, the Philadelphia Mint, for reasons still debated among coin collectors, didn't stamp certain coins with a mint mark, which identifies where the coin was made. Most 1979 pennies have a D or S mint mark, indicating Denver or San Francisco. But the pennies without any mint mark? They're exceptionally rare. And that rarity is what fuels their value. Why does rarity matter? Think about it like this. It's like having an autographed first edition of a famous novel. The fewer there are in circulation, the more collectors are willing to pay. And when demand meets scarcity, prices skyrocket. But let me ask you this, what if one of these pennies is already in your hands? I mean, let's be honest, how often do you check the dates or mint marks on your pennies? Most of us toss them into a jar, forget about them, and go on with our day. But what if I told you that missing one small detail could cost you millions of dollars? That drawer of spare change? It might be holding a fortune. Right now, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these coins. But like any market, that opportunity might not last forever. The longer you wait, the higher the chance someone else will cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And that leads us to your next step. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, I have a ton of pennies. How do I know if I have the one? Great question. Here's the checklist. Look for the date, 1979. Check the mint mark, or lack thereof. If there's no mint mark under the date, you may just have struck gold, well, copper in this case, but you get the point. Feeling excited yet? Imagine, right now, uncovering a small fortune in your loose change. What would you do with $1.4 million? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Live the life you've always dreamed of? It's not just a fantasy. This could be your reality. And with just a few minutes of effort, your path to financial freedom could start with something as simple as a penny. But before you run to your coin jar, here's where things get really interesting. There's another even more elusive version of this penny, one that could be worth even more. But to uncover that story, you're going to have to stay with me for just a little longer. Now, if you're like me, you're already considering flipping over the couch cushions or checking the glove box for pennies. Hey, I don't judge. It's worth it. But here's a fun fact to break up the tension. Do you know that most of us will walk past a penny on the street without bothering to pick it up? Just imagine, someone might have casually strolled past $1 million coin because it seemed like too much effort to bend down. Ironic, isn't it? Let's recap. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is currently valued at up to $1.4 million due to its extreme rarity. It's a collector's dream. And there's a very real chance that one could be sitting in your home, right under your nose. But the clock is ticking. Collectors are snatching up these rare coins, and each day the value continues to rise. Don't let hesitation cost you this incredible opportunity. Now, as promised, there's another penny that's worth even more, and its value might shock you. But that's a story for the next video. So, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss out on learning about this even rarer penny that could truly change your life. Alright, it's time to act. Take a few minutes today, sort through your coins, and see if you have the hidden treasure that could make you a millionaire overnight. Remember, life-changing opportunities like this don't come around often. Don't be the one who looks back and says, "If only I had checked." Instead, be the one who seizes the moment.